Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where love is often portrayed as the ultimate goal, the grand prize that defines our worth and happiness. But what happens when love doesn't come as easily as we hoped? What if, despite our best efforts, true love still feels out of reach? Does that mean we are incomplete? Does that mean we are unworthy? Absolutely not. Today I want to remind you that your value is not determined by a relationship status. Love is beautiful, but it is not the only source of happiness, fulfillment, or purpose. If you can't find true love right now, maybe it's time to stop searching outward and start searching within. Maybe love isn't something you find, it's something you become. So let's shift our perspective. Let's embrace this journey, trust in timing, and most importantly, learn to love ourselves first. Because when you do, love, whether from another or within, will naturally find its way to you. Are you ready to redefine love? Let's begin. Loving yourself first is not just a phrase. It is the foundation of a fulfilling life. Many people seek love in others, hoping to fill a void within themselves. They believe that a relationship will complete them, that a romantic partner will provide the validation, security, and happiness they crave. However, the truth is, if you do not love yourself first, no amount of external love will ever feel enough. It will always feel temporary, conditional, and fragile. Real love, the kind that is deep and lasting, begins with the relationship you have with yourself. From a young age, we are conditioned to believe that love comes from external sources. Fairy tales, movies, and social expectations emphasize the idea of finding the one who will make everything better. We grow up dreaming of a perfect partner, a soulmate who will understand us, accept us, and bring us unending happiness. But what happens when that person doesn't appear? What happens when relationships fail, when love is unreciprocated, or when loneliness creeps in? It is in these moments that self-love becomes crucial. Without it, one may fall into a cycle of seeking validation from others, feeling incomplete without a relationship, and tolerating unhealthy dynamics out of fear of being alone. Loving yourself first means understanding your worth, independent of external approval. It requires recognizing your strengths, embracing your flaws, and treating yourself with the same kindness and respect you would offer to a loved one. It means no longer waiting for someone else to make you feel special, but instead knowing that you are already enough. Self-love is not arrogance or selfishness, it is self-respect. It is the realization that you deserve happiness, care, and love, even if no one else is currently giving it to you. To truly love yourself, you must first get to know yourself. This involves deep introspection, questioning your beliefs, and understanding your emotions. Many people go through life avoiding themselves, distracting themselves with work, social media, relationships, or other external pursuits. They fear solitude because it forces them to confront their inner thoughts and insecurities. But solitude is not loneliness, it is an opportunity to reconnect with yourself. When you take the time to be alone, you discover what truly makes you happy, what you value, and what kind of life you want to build. You begin to understand that your happiness is not dependent on someone else's presence. It is something you can create on your own. Self-love also involves setting boundaries. Many people compromise their own well-being in relationships, believing that love means sacrifice. While love does require effort and understanding, it should never come at the cost of your self-respect. If you constantly put others' needs above your own, tolerate mistreatment, or stay in toxic situations out of fear of losing someone, it is not love, it is a lack of self-worth. Loving yourself means knowing when to walk away from what no longer serves you. It means recognizing that your peace of mind is more important than keeping someone in your life who doesn't value you. Taking care of yourself is another essential aspect of self-love. This goes beyond physical appearance. It includes mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. It means nourishing your body with healthy food, exercising not to look a certain way, but to feel strong and energized, and getting enough rest. It means engaging in activities that bring you joy, whether it's reading, painting, traveling, or simply spending time in nature. It involves practicing self-care, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. Self-love also requires changing the way you speak to yourself. Many people are their own worst critics. They replay past mistakes, focus on their flaws, and constantly compare themselves to others. They believe they are not attractive enough, successful enough, or interesting enough to be loved. These negative thoughts create a cycle of self-doubt and low self-esteem. However, if you wouldn't say these things to a friend, why say them to yourself? Learning to speak to yourself with kindness is a powerful act of self-love. Instead of criticizing yourself for what you lack, appreciate what you have. Instead of dwelling on your past failures, acknowledge your growth. Instead of measuring your worth based on societal standards, define success on your own terms. Forgiveness is another key aspect of loving yourself. Many people hold on to guilt, shame, and regret, believing that their past defines them. They punish themselves for mistakes, replaying old decisions and wishing they had done things differently. But the truth is, everyone makes mistakes. Growth comes from learning, and you cannot move forward if you are constantly looking back. Loving yourself means accepting your past, understanding that you did the best you could with the knowledge you had, and giving yourself the grace to grow. It is important to understand that self-love is not a destination, but a continuous journey. Some days you will feel confident and empowered, while on other days self-doubt may creep in. That's okay. The key is to remain committed to treating yourself with kindness, no matter what. Just like any relationship, the relationship with yourself requires effort, patience, and consistency. When you love yourself, you raise your standards. You no longer settle for relationships that drain you or people who do not appreciate you. You stop seeking validation from others because you already validate yourself. You attract healthier relationships because you no longer accept anything less than what you deserve. Love, when it eventually comes, will be a beautiful addition to your life, not the thing that defines it. Being single is often seen as a phase to endure rather than an experience to embrace. Society tends to place great emphasis on relationships, making it seem as if being alone is a sign of incompleteness, a temporary waiting period before something better comes along. But what if being single isn't a void to be filled? What if it's an opportunity, an invaluable chapter in life, meant for self-discovery, growth, and fulfillment on your own terms? Embracing the journey of being single is about shifting your perspective, appreciating the present, and realizing that happiness and love are not solely dependent on another person's presence in your life. This fear often leads to settling, choosing partners who may not be the right fit simply to avoid being alone. However, when you embrace your single journey, you begin to understand that being alone is not the same as being lonely. Loneliness stems from disconnection, not from a lack of a romantic partner. You can feel lonely even in a relationship if it lacks emotional depth and connection. On the other hand, when you learn to enjoy your own company, you realize that solitude can be fulfilling, peaceful, and even empowering. It allows you to build a life that is rich with meaning, friendships, personal achievements, and self-love. One of the most powerful aspects of being single is the freedom it offers. You have the ability to make decisions based entirely on your own desires, goals, and ambition. You can explore new interests, travel to new places, and pursue passions without having to consider someone else's plans or preferences. This is a time to invest in yourself, to create experiences that shape you into the person you aspire to be. Many people in relationships often look back and wish they had taken more time for themselves before committing to someone else. They wish they had traveled more, explored different career paths, or simply spent more time understanding themselves before merging their life with another. Embracing the journey also means learning to be comfortable with uncertainty. Many people view being single as a problem to be solved, as if there's something wrong that needs to be fixed. They wonder when love will come, how they can speed up the process, or what they might be doing wrong. But the truth is, life doesn't always follow a set timeline. Just because love hasn't arrived yet doesn't mean it never will. Instead of obsessing over the unknown, you can choose to focus on what you can control: your happiness, your growth, and the way you spend your time. When you release the pressure of needing to find love immediately, you allow yourself to fully experience and appreciate the present moment. Being single is also an opportunity to strengthen your relationships outside of romance. Friendships, family connections, and social bonds play a crucial role in emotional well-being. Often, when people enter relationships, they become so focused on their partner that they unintentionally neglect other important relationships in their lives. This period of being single allows you to nurture these connections, build a strong support system, and create meaningful bonds that bring joy and fulfillment. Friendships offer companionship, laughter, and understanding, proving that love exists in many forms beyond just romantic relationships. Personal growth is another key aspect of embracing the journey. When you're single, you have the space to reflect on who you are and who you want to become. You can identify patterns in past relationships, recognize what worked and what didn't, and understand what you truly need in a partner if and when love does come along. Self-improvement, whether through education, career advancement, fitness, or emotional intelligence, becomes a priority. This is a time to develop confidence, independence, and self-reliance, qualities that not only benefit you personally, but also make you a better partner in the future. Self-care and self-fulfillment become easier to prioritize when you are single. You can focus on your mental and emotional well-being without external pressures or conflicts. Taking care of yourself is not just about physical health, but also about nurturing your mind and soul. Whether it's practicing mindfulness, engaging in hobbies, or simply taking time to relax and recharge, this period of life is an opportunity to build habits that contribute to long-term happiness. Many people in relationships find themselves sacrificing their own needs for the sake of their partner, sometimes to the point of losing their own identity. Being single allows you to establish a strong foundation of self-love so that if and when you do enter a relationship, you do so as a whole and fulfilled person rather than someone seeking completion from another. Another important aspect of embracing the journey is understanding that love should never be forced. Some people try to control when and how love enters their lives, going on endless dates, constantly searching for the one, or feeling pressured by societal expectations. But love is not something that can be rushed or manipulated. It happens naturally in its own time when the conditions are right. Desperation often leads to unhealthy attachments, where people settle for relationships that are not truly fulfilling just to avoid being alone. When you embrace your journey, you develop patience and trust in the timing of your life. You begin to understand that just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. It simply means that right now your focus is meant to be elsewhere. Embracing your single journey also means challenging societal narratives that equate worth with relationship status. There is often an unspoken pressure to be in a relationship by a certain age, to follow the traditional path of dating, marriage, and family as though it's the only valid way to live. However, fulfillment comes in many forms, and happiness is not dependent on a romantic partner. When you let go of these external pressures and define success on your own terms, you gain a sense of liberation. You realize that your life is valuable and meaningful as it is, regardless of whether or not you are in a relationship. This period in life also allows you to develop emotional resilience. Learning to navigate life independently builds strength and confidence. You become more self-sufficient, better equipped to handle challenges, and more aware of your own capabilities. Instead of looking to someone else to solve your problems or provide emotional support, you learn to rely on yourself. This resilience is invaluable, not just for relationships, but for every aspect of life. It means that when love does come, you enter the relationship as a strong, independent individual rather than someone who needs another person to feel complete. Gratitude plays a significant role in embracing the journey. Instead of focusing on what is missing, shifting your perspective to what you have allows you to appreciate the present. There are so many beautiful experiences to be had, lessons to be learned, and joys to be felt outside of a romantic relationship. Whether it's achieving personal goals, forming deep friendships, traveling, or simply enjoying the freedom of making decisions without compromise, there is so much to be grateful for. Embracing the journey also means letting go of the idea that happiness is something to be found in the future. Many people tell themselves that they will be happy once they find love, once they are in a relationship, or once they are married. But happiness is not a destination. It is something that must be cultivated in the present. If you cannot find joy and fulfillment within yourself now, no relationship will ever be able to provide it for you. External love can enhance happiness, but it should never be the sole source of it. By embracing your single journey, you learn to trust yourself, to appreciate your own company, and to build a life that is fulfilling on its own. You stop waiting for love to arrive and start living fully in the present. You begin to see being single not as a lack of something, but as an opportunity for growth, self-discovery, and independence. Trusting the timing of your life is one of the most challenging yet liberating things you can do. In a world where everything seems to move fast, where social media showcases engagements, weddings, and happy couples at every turn, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. The pressure to find love, to settle down, and to meet certain milestones at a specific age can make you anxious, frustrated, and even doubtful about your own journey. But love, like all things in life, follows its own time. It cannot be rushed, forced, or controlled. Learning to trust the timing of your life means letting go of the need to compare your journey to others, understanding that everything happens when it's meant to, and believing that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Many people become consumed by the idea that they must find love by a certain age. They see their friends getting married, starting families, and building lives with their partners, and they begin to wonder if something is wrong with them. This leads to unnecessary stress and self-doubt. The truth is, everyone's timeline is different. Some people find love early, while others find it later in life. Some people experience multiple relationships before finding the right one, while others meet their soulmate unexpectedly. There is no right or wrong way to experience love, and there is no fixed schedule that you must follow. The moment you stop comparing yourself to others and start embracing your own path, you free yourself from the pressure that society places on love and relationships. Trusting the timing of your life requires patience, and patience is often the hardest lesson to learn. It's natural to want answers, to seek control over your future, and to wonder when love will come your way. But love does not operate on demand. It arrives when the conditions are right, when you are ready, when the right person crosses your path, and when life aligns in a way that allows love to grow naturally. Instead of focusing on the unknown, you can choose to focus on what you do know. You know that you have time. You know that your worth is not defined by your relationship status. You know that the best love stories are the ones that unfold organically, without force or desperation. When you shift your focus from when will love come to how can I enjoy where I am now, you begin to see the beauty in the present. One of the biggest mistakes people make is settling for the wrong person simply because they are tired of waiting. The fear of being alone pushes many into relationships that are unfulfilling, unhealthy, or incompatible. They convince themselves that any love is better than no love, even if deep down they know they deserve better. But love should never be rushed out of fear. It is far better to wait for the right person than to waste time with the wrong one. When you trust the timing of your life, you understand that being single is not a punishment, it is preparation. Every experience you have, every lesson you learn, and every challenge you overcome is shaping you into the person you are meant to be for the love that is meant for you. Trusting the timing of love also means trusting yourself. It means believing that you are exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't feel like it. Life has a way of unfolding in ways we don't always understand in the moment. Sometimes delays and detours are not setbacks but redirections. The relationship that didn't work out, the love that was unrequited, the heartbreak that left you feeling lost. These experiences are not failures. They are stepping stones leading you to something better. Every relationship teaches you something, whether it's about what you want, what you don't want, or who you are as a person. Instead of resenting the waiting period, you can choose to see it as a time of growth, healing, and self-discovery. One of the hardest aspects of trusting the timing of love is dealing with loneliness. There will be moments when you long for companionship, when you wish you had someone to share your life with, and when you question whether love will ever come. These feelings are valid and they should not be ignored. However, loneliness should not be mistaken for a reason to settle or to rush into something that doesn't feel right. Being alone does not mean you are unloved or unwanted. It simply means that your story is still unfolding. Instead of seeing loneliness as an emptiness that needs to be filled, it can be seen as an opportunity to strengthen your relationship with yourself. It is during these moments of solitude that you learn the most about who you are, what makes you happy, and what kind of love you truly deserve. Another important aspect of trusting the timing of love is understanding that love is not the only source of happiness. While relationships can bring joy, fulfillment, and companionship, they are not the sole purpose of life. There is so much more to experience: friendships, passions, personal achievements, travel, and self-growth. When you place all of your happiness on the idea of finding love, you put unnecessary pressure on yourself and your future relationships. Instead of waiting for love to complete your life, you can focus on creating a life that is already fulfilling on its own. That way, when love does arrive, it is an addition to your happiness rather than the foundation of it. Trusting the timing of love also means letting go of expectations. Many people have a fixed idea of what their love story should look like. They imagine meeting someone in a certain way, at a certain time, and following a certain path. But love does not always fit into a perfect plan. It happens unexpectedly, in ways you never imagined, and often at times when you least expect it. When you let go of rigid expectations, you open yourself up to possibilities you may not have considered. Love may come in a different form than you envisioned, but that doesn't make it any less real or meaningful. Believing in the timing of love requires faith in the unknown. It means trusting that everything is happening for a reason, even if you can't see it yet. It means knowing that your journey is unique and that your path will unfold in its own time. Love is not something that can be scheduled or controlled. It is something that arises when the universe decides it is time. Until then, your job is not to force it, chase it, or worry about it. Your job is to live fully, to embrace every moment, and to trust that love will find its way to you when the time is right.